Hi there. I wanted to share an experience I had with some BLM protesters, which could maybe give you an insight into their way of thinking. I engaged in conversation with an activist after they said anybody who is more concerned with the damage the riots are causing rather than why they are rioting is part of the problem. We know who you are and we're watching you, which in itself was a scary statement. It's pretty obvious what that means. And I noticed it fell within an echo chamber, and everybody just seemed to be telling her, how amazing she is. You go, girl, you go, queen, and all this kind of stuff. And it was clear they all had the same view as her. So I just decided to engage with these people, see if I could reach some common ground and get involved in the conversation. So the first person I noticed, what I engaged, was saying that actually all the BLM riots were done by the BLM protesters, Antifa, and other anti-fascist groups and far left activists. It wasn't indeed them. It was actually neo-Nazis who were doing it to make it look like them. And I thought, oh, okay, interesting. And first of all, I was just told, shut up. You've got white privilege. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't get an opinion. I thought, okay, fair enough. And she started recommending books to me. Read this. I think it was White Privilege, or another one, How to Be an Anti-Racist by, is it Ibram Kendi. The new Bible of these movements. So I said, yeah, okay, I'll read that. No problem. I intended to read them anyway. You can't really form an opposing opinion about something unless you've actually read their stuff. So I said, fair enough, I'll read it. But in the meantime, here's a book I recommend to you, which gives you a different perspective, a diametrically opposed perspective. And it's The Madness of Crowds by Douglas Murray. At which point she said she gave me quite a detailed critique of this book, and I thought, oh, interesting. She's obviously read it, and I was going to give an intelligent, detailed critique of why she thinks it's wrong. So I looked and I read it, and I thought, this seems familiar. And then it dawned on me. She'd actually copied and pasted the Guardian review of the book, which is basically a scathing polemic. And I pulled her on this. I said, well, actually, that's the Guardian review. You've just copied and pasted that. I've read that review. And then she went, okay, busted. But I don't need to read it anyway, then she then said, because Douglas Murray is a white, straight male. Therefore, he's not in a position to have an opinion on these issues. He's misogynistic, he's racist, and he's homophobic. And she was saying, well, I don't need to know who he is or anything about him. On the basis of that, I know he's all those. Because he's a white, straight male, I know all of this. Because he's inherently all these things. He can't be any other. So I chuckled and laughed at this, at which point I pointed out, Douglas Murray is gay. I'm pretty sure he's not homophobic. And then it was so strange. The reply came, well, that may be so, but he's definitely misogynistic and racist. That can be without question. And then that's when I realised, I'm not really dealing with the same person here, or I can have a rational discussion. They've been brainwashed into this, and there's nothing you're going to really be able to say that's going to change their mind. So that was the end of that. And then I engaged with the second person who got into the conversation. The reason why I was getting into the conversation with different people, because the original person I was having a discussion with, it seemed like they wasn't confident in what they were saying and they couldn't argue sufficiently with me, so they kept inviting all their comrades to get involved in the discussion to all kind of gang up on me. So another person got involved, At which point she recommended white privilege and how to be an anti-racist to me again. Okay, I said, yeah, again, I'm going to read this. And again, I recommended The Madness of Crowds. She replied, I don't need hate in my life, and I won't be reading that. And again, the penny dropped even further this time. It wasn't a discussion I was having. It wasn't a debate I was having. These people weren't interested in any of that. They decided, with their totalitarian way of thinking, this is the facts, this is how it is, this is what we believe. There's no discussion is off the table. You need to just read up on it, indoctrinate yourself now, and get with the program and basically believe what we believe. That is it. It was like a form of it had become a form of religious belief. You either believe this or you're a heretic. It was as simple as that. And that's when it finally dropped. I weren't dealing with rational people, not in any sense. Now, a lot of the comments from people, you could just see they probably didn't even know what they believed. They didn't form an individual opinion. It was basically this fashion was in fashion, and they just follow it. In the same sense, if we look at clothes, interior design, music, and other things, people just follow whatever's in fashion. They'll listen to whatever music's being listened to at the particular time. They'll interior design their houses to whatever's the fashion of the time. And it's same with beliefs, ideologies, and ways of thinking. Whatever's in fashion, they will just go along with. Because human beings are social animals, so they want to fit in. So that was that. But there were some people, and I looked at their profiles and whatnot on Facebook, and they were lecturers, teachers. And I was thinking, are these people just following, or is there something darker in it for them? Do they know what they're doing when they try to perpetuate this kind of stuff? But either way, that was the point when I realised these people can't be reasoned with. They're not rational. Well, in a sense, they are rational, because if they're trying to tear down society and bring in their form of totalitarianism, they're going the right way about it. They know what they're doing. So in that sense, they are rational. But I realised then there was no point trying to talk them out of the madness. The only way to target this and stop it is to tackle it at its heart. It's into the teachers, the universities, the lecturers, where they're perpetuating this stuff and filling people's heads with it. We need to target there and change the narrative. And that's the only way it's going to filter out into wider society, a different view. But anyway, yeah, if you've got any experiences with similar kind of protesters, then by all means, leave it in the comments. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Thanks.